Hello, and welcome to Champions Q Kitchen. Today's challenge is to bring me the spiciest champion and position combination with only the freshest of Champions Q ingredients, straight here from North America. Mark, what have you served for me today? What do you have?
Hello, chef. Today I have prepared for you a Elise top on a bed of licorice and summit. It has been glazed with buffs recently, and there's the garnish to pick between top and jungle.
Mark, this is not even fresh. Where did you get this? Licorice already played it in the LCS, and it was bland there too.
I found the recipe on Mobifier.
Mark, did you even taste this before you served it to me?
No,
Look
chef.
at these
No,
clips.
chef.
Look at these clips, Mark. He's getting soloed by a Scion.
No, chef, I did not look at this. I'm sorry.
Lee Sin is a champion without a sense of sight. And now we know that you are a chef without a sense of taste. Get out of my sight.
Do you want me to leave the dish?
Get the dish out of here too. Emily, please. What have you served for me today?
I'm really excited about this because we've seen a lot of crazy things. In the bot lane, I have prepared for you Varus support. So if your AD carry dies, you have a spare. As long as someone is mechanically gifted, like Carria, he played it.
Like
in
who? Oh
Carria.
my. Emily, did you listen to the rules?
No, chef.
What is the name of this show, Emily?
Champions Q Kitchen.
Where are you supposed to get the ingredients for your dish from?
Champions Q.
Exactly! Emily, are you kidding me? Are you Carria?
No, chef.
Are you T1?
No, chef.
What are you?
A prawn sandwich.
That's right, you're running it! Emily! Oh, Raz, please save the show. Raz, what do you have for me today? My God, I haven't been able to eat any of these. They're not even following the rules. Raz, what have you?
I brought a Gragas, chef.
Well, it does have a lot of meat on those bones. Raz, how many does this serve?
5, chef. It serves a whole table. As you can see here.
Ooh, beautiful. Raz, nice work so far.
Thank you, chef. You could see he played a jungle with a Yasuo mid. You could also play a top lane. Historically, it's been played support. It has an explosion of flavors. A little bit of rum, not too intoxicating.
It certainly does, Raz. The spice on this bomba, it's delicious. Honestly, positioned perfectly, complemented by a variety of drafts. Raz, congratulations, the winner of Champions Q Kitchen episode #1. No contest. That's gonna do it. There's also been a ton of cooking going on in the LCS this split, something that Mark found out while catching up with Doublelift. Take a look.
Hello and welcome to Catching Up with Doublelift. He unfortunately swapped his mouthwash and bleach, so he had to get his stomach pumped, but on the plus side, his floors are minty fresh. Instead, we have Spica.
I wasn't the first option.
Congrats on winning a championship. We don't know when this is coming out, so but you guys are basically guaranteed a title, so.
I mean, of course, we're gonna go undefeated.
You're cooking it up, I'm just like, let that boy cook.
Hold up, let him cook.
Yeah, hold up.
I wanna say the only champion that I've cooked so far is a Mumu.
Maokai you're chefing it up on, though. He's always letting him cook, No one ever stops this boy from cooking.
Is like
Permission to allow this boy to keep cooking?
Yeah, let him keep
Granted.
cooking.
Come on, baby, cook it up.
Oh my
Yeah.
What
God.
is he cooking?
He's always cooking. I don't know what he's cooking ever,
That's a steak,
Allow him to continue to please
the
be cooking.
Yeah.
All right. For cooking.
Yeah. This is all metaphorical. You are just chefing.
Let him cook.
Yeah, let him cook every time.
But you're the one putting in the microwave.
All right, go in. Sick. Casual 10 minutes. All right.
So, I'm gonna be here for 10 minutes.
Probably longer.
Interesting interview.
Prince or Vikla? One of them's going home. Who do you wish to stay?
Prince dapped me up the other day.
Yeah, he gave me a banana yesterday.
I knew it was Prince, dude. I knew it.
I'll have to go over Prince. He's funny. Not that Vikla's not funny, of course, but if I have to pick one, it's really close. I think I'll have to pick Prince.
It's karaoke time. You're gonna join me for some karaoke.
This is really, okay, I've only done once.
You've only done karaoke once?
One time, it was with Lolo. I've
your
never heard of this song. I don't think so.
You'll recognize it, I think.
For once my eyes are open to you, and everything you've said, for once all web of lies is in the open. I gave you everything I had, until I have nothing left. Just your lie and just a burden, time to let go.
Think I'll never do that again.
All right. We'll fire whoever came up with that bit.
Oh, it's broken.
Oh no,
or?
it's like when you're supposed to flip the meat.
Nah,
We'll
who
just keep it
cares?
going. Just let it cook.
Who cares?
If you could go bigger or go harder, which would you rather do and why?
Bigger or harder?
Bigger.
My man.
When this airs, it's gonna be really awkward, isn't it?
All right, this interview's boring. Do you want to play some table football? All right,
I haven't played this since like middle school, I want to say.
I had to look up how to
All
make
right.
one of these. I had no idea. I think you do this.
Okay. You're trash.
Yeah, I am pretty bad.
Can you put it like on the table?
Yeah, sorry.
Like on the table?
With this?
Yeah. Okay. Let me angle it. Hold up.
Yeah.
Geometry.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Welcome back, everybody. After that, we got Spica here with us now too.
Hello.
So on a
Welcome, buddy.
scale of 1 to 10, how awkward filming that?
Let's not talk about that. I'm not
Okay.
doing that again.
Let's get to some gameplay here, baby. Two teams that you obviously love, very close to your heart. 100 Thieves and Cloud9, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about C9, but
okay.
I know a few people on 100 Thieves.
Okay. We'll have to foster some relationships here. Cloud9, cold and standoffish. Meanwhile, some
Yeah.
former teammates over here. Bjergsen and Doublelift, they've often been criticized for being passive and slow.
Yeah.
Failing. How do you feel about that narrative?
I mean, we'll see. I'll be
We'll see.
We'll see.
Let's
We'll
get some
see.
visual confirmation here. Getting up into this game, I think this is a super hype matchup. Always, 100 Thieves versus Cloud9. Of course, Emenes coming into the LCS had the Victor game and then had the LeBlanc game. As far as extra information, scrims or anything like that, how do you really feel about this Cloud9 mid lane switch?
I mean, I think last time we scrimmed them, we went 0-6.
Ooh. Okay. So
6 against everyone. So maybe it's not exclusive to C9, but yeah, I mean, I think Emenes he's been performing well. I think in scrims, at least from what I've seen. So I'm really excited to see how he goes up against Bjergsen. Obviously, a very old mid laner.
yeah, I've been watching Emenes in Champs Queue a lot, and he has been one of the ones spamming the Aurelion Sol. So
I just play against it.
you just played against it.
I didn't know what he was doing.
We could
I was like, we're
tell.
just dying.
We could tell a lot of players
Yeah.
still don't know what he does. He scales so well into the late game because the Q has max health percentage damage, but also the E has execution max health damage. So if you let him farm a lot of Stardust, then he will just execute everyone.
So you're saying it's a perfect champ for 100 Thieves.
Perfect.
They're scaling.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
If you want to play till 45 minutes, this champion is great. He's like Nasus, but he's a real champion.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
I'm curious about your opinion on new champions. Do you
Yeah.
like to play against them like first day, just go in there and experience it without knowing what the hell's going on, or do you prefer to have it banned for a little while, play against it in solo queue first?
See, I like it when I get to play it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
But
you wanna
if
play the
it's,
new
if it's
hotness.
not jungle, then I'm like, what is this champ doing? But I mean, I think as a pro player, it's obviously sometimes it's hard to adjust to,
Yeah.
because a new champion comes out, you have like a week or so to get adjusted to it. Maybe it's broken, maybe it's not. So usually, when it comes out, we are kind of like scrambling to find out what our prior on it is. So, but I would like to see more ASO. It was looking kind of powerful in our game.
So
Yeah, a little bit strong.
have you read the tooltips on ASOL, or do you wait for the analyst to tell you what's important?
I just wait for someone else to tell me what to do.
I figured.
Yeah.
Let's get the Spark notes on that one quicker. I think we have a little bit of a delay on stage, but we'll get right into the draft. Never mind, we're right in here, baby. Perfect. Fire it up. Will we see the ASOL emerge once again? Obviously, there's a lot of importance on bottom lane in draft.
Yep.
Ashe, Annie, Caitlyn, Varus, the Lucianami Zeri Lulu trade, of course, is always available. Looks like it probably is going to get its way through because we already have a Gragas man, a little bit of a target there.
Bomba.
So running this back, remember back in the first time these teams played each other in the first round robin, that was the Fudge versus Tenacity matchup, the brotherly love like combat 1-on-1, and it was Fudge who came out on top. It was Cassante versus Jax. He won by a single auto attack.
Yeah.
So I want to see these guys both just play 1v1 Giga Chad champions, go for those solo kills. We've got Ashe, Aphelios, Caitlyn all banned away, Gragas banned out as well, along with the Zillion respect ban towards Bjergsen. Zeri is still up. Please ban her. Please ban her.
No, Zeri. Okay. It's Doublelift, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, one trick.
especially with the Aphelios getting banned, you have to think it's probably going to be the trade.
I would think so.
The trade.
I think it's coming. It's one with Tsunami. I think it's coming.
The last year, I mean, yeah, the only variation on it is what we just saw, which was, opting instead of the Lucianami for the Aphelios, but with him banned also.
Oh.
Could do Varus Thresh. Varus similar to Aphelios in that he always likes to have a buddy that can help keep it safe, but insta-lock there on the Elise for Blaber. How do you feel about this champion?
I mean, it was really, really strong last patch, but, it just got nerfed this patch, so I'm curious to see. No one has really played this so far. But I think Elise is somebody still super strong early game. You still have to respect her, but she falls off faster now, so we'll see how, 100 Thieves handles the early game pressure.
Little Q damage nerf there to Elise, definitely taking down some of the kill threat. On the side of Closer, I feel like he's one of the junglers that has benefited the most from the recent patches.
Yeah.
You had the Lee Sin buffs and the Viego buffs. I feel like his two classic champions.
Back to the Sejuani.
And it's just like, it's your time, Closer, your patch. Oh, it's Sejuani. Okay, well, does mean Tenacity and Bjergsen maybe looking at some melee champions here. At the very least, Tenacity. Jayce and NA. Currently, 2-7.
Who has one on it?
Palafox and... Let me look up
I think the other one was also mid. I'm pretty sure Jayce top is still 0 wins.
Yeah, but Emenes is Korean, so...
Okay, so it works. All right. We'll see if he ends up playing it. It could still go top for Fudge as well, but they will go ahead and lock it in. Second half of the draft, and we have asynchronous picks so far, so I'm expecting a little bit of different flavor from each side here for what they want to target. C9 gonna ban out the Scion. Keep that one away from Tenacity. No giant meatball up there in top lane. What about you, Spica? Do you prefer for your top laners to normally prefer having a team with a tank in the top lane, a fighter in the top lane?
I mean, I think everybody has a stereotype that Impact is a tank player, but honestly, he can play everything.
Yeah.
I really like it when Impact plays carries, actually, because I think he's very, articulate on it.
Cool.
He knows all the details, and he shot calls a lot when he's on carries. So honestly, I prefer carry. I mean, I play with a lot of carry players, Booney, Broken Blaze, so I'm comfortable with both.
Hell yeah. Well, we got Kalista banned out by 100 Thieves, targeting that bottom lane potential duo there. The opportunity for Kalista support. This is League of Legends in 2023. All the marksmen are also supports.
Yeah, but there's no carrier.
That's
Only
true.
carry at T1.
But Zven was an AD carry player, so he definitely, I feel like in North America, gets a lot of leeway as far as playing any of the marksmen in that support role. Actually, funnily enough, I feel like him and Busio have been two of the supports that have been best at playing those AD carry champions as supports. And I did check on our fun fact for the other winning Jayce was actually JoJo, but if you remember that game, was it really winning? It was not a Jayce winning.
Yeah.
They technically won the game, but definitely wasn't impressive.
They won in spite of Jayce, not because of Jayce.
Exactly.
It was a little unlucky, but it is double topside bans from C9 in the second half of the draft. Spending their time thinking long and hard about what they want to ban here from 100 Thieves. It will be Nautilus along with that Kalista.
And it kind of makes sense. What they're really worried about here is the engage opportunities. The Nautilus and the Kalista, even if Kalista is as support, the ultimate another form of engage for them. Cloud9 showing a decent amount of poke damage, though, with the Jayce plus Varus plus Elise. Ooh. And so they get the Heimerdinger for pushing the turrets. Forms a lot of siege.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think C9's comp there's a lot of pressure early game, so they probably want to stack dragons and just pressure bot dive. We'll see how 100 Thieves goes up against that.
And I mean, it's what people normally criticize Bjergsen and Doublelift and 100 Thieves as a whole for, is being too slow getting off the ground. They take too long to get to the point where they're going to win. So I'm interested to see if they can weather this storm of Heimerdinger and Elise and Jayce. But there it is, baby, the Dragon's back. 2 out of 3 games, we get them.
Exactly. The scaling champ for the scaling mid laner. What are they going to round it out? They need a front line. They need some sort of CC. Definitely not a Xerath. We need some beefy, tanky melee champion to go along with Sejuani. All right, not beefy and tanky, but definitely melee champ to go with Sejuani.
Yeah, I feel like 100 Thieves team comp is definitely super, super weak early game. If it was me, I feel like ASO, you're not going to have push in 2 lanes at least, right? So also Fiora blind, so if they counter pick top and you have no pushing lanes, I feel like it's going to be very hard for 100 Thieves to play the early game, so they're going to have to, play defensive early and just scale up.
Are we going to get the... Yes, we are. Okay. So Yone locked in. We'll see who wants to pilot what here for the C9 solo lanes. So it's either Jayce or Yone versus Fiora up in the top side. This is exactly what I wanted out of Fudge versus Tenacity. I feel like these guys both just love to talk a lot of trash, and I don't want to watch 2 guys that talk trash play tanks and hit each other for 3 damage.
I mean, this is going to be super spicy, but one side has an Elise.
Okay, so that's
So
what
it's
you
gonna be
expect
jungle
to be
guy.
the big
It's
deal.
gonna be
Okay.
jungle guy. I don't think it's gonna be 1v1 in the top lane. I feel like it's gonna be 2v2, scrapping it out. So we'll see who comes out on top here.
Yeah, I think coming into this one, for sure, expecting some exciting stuff out of Cloud9. Like you said, we need to get some early advantage, snowball it here, so they can group up and push. If you're Elise, which side are you starting on, just looking at comp right now?
I mean, I feel like jungle's kind of weak right now. So I think the best start for almost every jungler is just starting rep off. You do 3 camps topside and you just, see what the lanes are going. It's super cookie cutter, but I think Blaber has a lot to work with. He has 3 volatile lanes that he can look for early game. So,
Yeah.
I want to see him be really active early game and look for kills and dives.
I'm very excited to see Emenes on the Yone into ASOL as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, yeah, as I said, he's had some of the most practice on ASOL. He's really put a lot of time into it. And so getting a melee champ that can engage over and over with your soul inbound, as soon as you hit to level 6, you're going to have some kill pressure there as well. If he can put a lot of pressure on Bjergsen and open up something for Cloud9 that way.
And Emenes just looked so much better on the block than he did on Victor. I feel like this guy shines more. Of course, we have a small sample size, but he just seemed much more comfortable on a champion that can sort of make its own decisions and not just have to stand there and laser a wave for 35 minutes. So Cloud9, they've got the early game composition. 100 Thieves have scaling for days. Doublelift's gonna walk down here along with Busio, but it's Cloud9 bringing the whole goon squad into the bot lane brushes.
Yeah, this is the classic battle over Heimer turrets.
Yep.
Cloud9 bring all 5 to defend them.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Closer is going to play this early game because obviously I feel like super hard to play against Elise, honestly, as a jungler when you have no proud lane. So, I want to see how he can cover his lanes and just help him scale.
So with these two drafts being so different, with the 100 Thieves one just having all of this scaling but not a ton of power early, and the C9 one being the exact opposite, which side do you normally prefer to play on? Do you like to have the scaling or do you want to have all of the decision-making power early?
I mean, for me, I feel like you need to find a balance.
Okay.
I feel like 100 Thieves kind of tilted too much for the scaling side. As a jungler, it feels really bad. You have no proud lanes. You're like,
Yeah.
everyone's invading. You're always on a war. It's like CCTV 4K on you all the time. Honestly, I would prefer the C9 side. It is much easier to play as a jungler, from jungler perspective. And, you're not forced to make any mistakes, honestly, with these lane setups.
Nice little shot there from Berserker onto Doublelift early for the piercing arrow, little chunk of damage. Comment on both of these guys in bottom lane. So expecting Berserker to go for that heavy lethality, poke Varus type of build. Again, I'm not super worried about them not having the DPS in the late game team fights, because if it goes late game, they're just gonna lose anyway. I like the fact that they're trying to take everything for this early game approach. Closer's gonna start up at his red buff like you were talking about, but it's Blaber starting at blue with the Elise.
Yeah, so it seems like Blaber really wants to focus topside, just like bot lane scale. I think C9 is one of the more top lane focused teams. So a lot of times they play around Fudge, gets them ahead, and then bot lane just plays sufficient. So we'll see if Blaber can get anything done topside here.
Yeah, I also feel like this Cloud9 team really will benefit from first Rift Herald focus. If they can get some advantage up there, help that, take down some turret plates, further their snowball. Meanwhile, bottom side Closer just puts up the defensive ward. Oftentimes when you're in this kind of position, you mentioned, being on the back foot, you're looking for opponent mistakes to be able to capitalize on the other side of the map.
Blaber's just farming it up here, clearing through those chicken camps. Mid lane, Emenes has control over the lane nice and early. That is the problem with Aurelion Sol, is although he does get incredibly powerful later on, his early laning can be a little lackluster.
Yeah, and he's using his E here, trying to execute minions, stack up some Stardust.
Yeah, and I see Blaber moving into the topside jungle here. There's no way Closer's gonna be able to fight, so I think Blaber just have topside control.
Yeah, solo laners give you so much comfort here. Yone pushed in, you mentioned, also Fudge pushed in, so the collapse will be pretty easy. Closer does have smite. He could do a quick little smite and run away.
Good challenge for it. Blaber's going to throw out the volatile spiderling just to make sure the Sejuani stays zoned away. And Closer doesn't want to risk anything here. He knows that if they give Cloud9 some early advantages with some silly deaths, that is exactly what Cloud9 wants. He's not going to give the opportunity. Blaber's just going to go ahead and take down this Scuttle Crab here in the top side river, and his Closer being forced back all the way across the map to take the other crab.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It just feels really bad to play jungler. We have 3 losing lanes, but I think it's okay. He is playing Sejuani. He is a tank. He's a frontline. As long as the game goes past like 20 minutes, he's gonna be more useful.
Yeah, it never feels good because every jungle meetup you have is
basically, understandable. You're taking my blue. Have a nice day. I did not mean to cross your path. And he makes a little move towards bottom lane because Berserker was fairly low, but that wave was gigantic. And Cloud9 do shove in the wave successfully. 100 Thieves don't want any volatility right now. This is what we're talking about, the constant engages possible from Yone. The Singularity doesn't get to execute on Cannon, so he goes back in. Try and pick it up there with the Q.
So, since both junglers started this game with the blue pet, let me ask you, Spica, do you have a jungle pet that you prefer most of the time, or is it just, you know,
I always go for the blue.
Always
I
go
like
blue?
to go fast. I like to go fast.
Hold on. Fudge versus Tenacity. It's the flash from Tenacity as Fudge goes for the to the skies that would have taken him incredibly low. I like the fact that these guys are scrapping as much as they are here in the top lane, but it is Fudge coming out on top for now.
Yeah, Fudge, especially because you said you have such a close relationship too. If you have back-to-back stage games where you get the advantage over a close friend, that can really lean into your trash talk and lean into some of the mental advantage of top lane being one of the lanes that really does kind of tilt, especially as far as some of these skill matchups. Meanwhile, though, Blaber going to make the first move towards the objective. Again, feels so good as the Elise. With all of these pushing lanes, basically the world is your oyster.
Yeah, I think 100 or C9 definitely needs to stack dragons because they get outscaled, right? So I think this is really like seeing this one Blaber stacking dragons, have another win condition.
Well, it doesn't look like 100 Thieves has any desire to fight for this one. And Ocean Drake really early on feels great for all of the laners. Just having that extra regeneration, keep yourself in lane, keep those resources topped off a little bit better. Back here in mid lane, Emenes just still maintaining the push, but Bjergsen's doing a good job keeping the farm relevant, keeping it close, making sure that he's scaling up here on the Aurelion Sol. 32 Stardust. In the earlier game, we saw Palafox hit some pretty incredible numbers, like later on in the game. He had like 500 something.
500?
Yeah, it was well past the 10 per minute mark.
Yeah, he had a ton. So the way that it works is as you collect it, like it empowers all of your abilities, but also every time you hit 75, that's when his ulti goes from the meteor to the mega meteor that does the shockwave.
I see, so that's what happened to us.
Yeah, that's what happened to you guys. When he kept doing that giant planet-ending meteor, it's because he kept hitting the Stardust threshold. So that's what I want to see if Bjergsen's going to be able to do as this game goes forward.
Meanwhile, there is no flash on Tenacity from Fudge blowing it solo, so Blaber trying to play around top kind of triangle of the map.
All right, Blaber and Emenes going to grab themselves a little bit of honey fruit, but not even going to get to eat all of the fruits. Tenacity will show up and pick up the rest of them. 100 Thieves with control over the top side river. Early on, 7 minutes into the game, no deaths yet, but it's still about a 400 gold lead for C9 just from the lane advantages. And they're CSing, you can see down in bottom lane, Berserker and Zven with this priority over the bot side have already picked up their first turret plate.
And Closer putting some more investment in trying to just protect lanes. It's exactly what he did on bottom side too, just providing vision, hovering around when you have the pushed wave, so Tenacity doesn't get abused. And that ward will see Blaber, so they know second Krugs.
Yeah, I think so far Closer is pretty comfortable. You know, nothing has happened early game.
Yeah.
All the lanes are fine. He is completely chilling.
A little bit behind in farm, but that's all right. You're Sejuani. You're still going to have plenty of tanking and plenty of relevance, even if you don't have the greatest economy. Bjergsen continuing to use that breath of light to constantly harass Emenes when he steps forward. But Emenes just keeps doing exactly what you were talking about, Kobe. He just runs at him, cuts him down to about 100 HP. As you can see, Tenacity and Blaber getting into a bit of a scrap in the topside jungle as Fudge crashes the wave into the turret. Tenacity is already pretty far behind in terms of farm. He's at half HP. Blaber is top. He's got to be a little bit concerned about this. Level up's going to make him feel slightly better. And if Fudge and Blaber go for the dive, Closer is waiting over the wall. Tenacity takes a lot of damage, but they force the flash out of Blaber as the dive doesn't quite have enough gas to get it done.
Let's see if they can get anything in the aftermath. Blaber can just walk around the scuttle crab if he hugs the inside wall there, start up this Rift Trail. And this is the problem you're talking about with all losing lanes.
Yeah.
Previous to that play where Tenacity gets pushed out and shoved back to base, Bjergsen had just been shoved out and pushed back to base. So that's why Cloud9 feels so confident in going for that dive on the big stacked wave there, denying a bunch of minions, by the way. And so we see these CS gaps start to grow. Nice channel here from Bjergsen. Remember, every time you full channel for a second on your breath, you get another Stardust there. So he's stacking up, even though Emenes is getting some good damage on him. Bjergsen's playing the long con. More Stardust.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious to see where Blaber puts his Herald.
Yeah.
You know, Balling has 3 plates. Maybe he wants to, use it on the Jayce.
Oh! Ulti from Aurelion Sol forces Emenes back as he uses the Fate Seal to retreat and escape what would have been a follow-up gank from Closer. Closer with both the ulti and the flash. Very, very threatening stuff here on this Sejuani, while bottom side, Berserker and Zven continue this pressure, man. They're almost 3 plates down already. If they want to drop that Herald down there, they can just knock the whole sucker over. Play slow and outscale.
I mean, that's exactly what we said too.
That's the name of the game.
Talking about it, 100 Thieves, true to their nature. And bottom side, I mean, Doublelift farming well, even though they're losing out on a lot of turret plates to the Heimerdinger and Varus constant pushing combo as well. I think really where it starts to become an issue is we'll see once next item power spikes come in, first item completion, you know, Dragon number 2 is pretty close to coming up.
Yeah, we've got the Dragon in about 40 seconds from now. 0 kills on the table, but more than 2,000 gold lead for C9. This is the recipe for success that they wanted with this composition. So let me ask you guys this. You're both bigger brain at League of Legends than I am. 2,500 gold at 10 minutes. I feel like this is on the mark for where you would want to be able to beat this scaling composition. Where do you feel like Cloud9 needs to be 10 minutes from now at the 20-minute mark to guarantee that they can close this out fast?
I mean, I just want to see them take every Dragons. I feel like by the 20-minute mark, you're going to be fighting for Sol. But I feel like C9's comp doesn't even necessarily get upscale. Maybe you look at their composition, because right now Jayce is really far ahead, right? So what C9 wants to do is just play 1-1 split push, and they don't have to opt into the 5v5 team fight against 100 Thieves because their side laners will both win side. So it's just like a different game for both of the teams.
Okay.
So, you know, I think outscale is just, it's very a loose term.
Yeah, especially when they scale in different ways. You know, so much damage on Cloud9's side, as long as they don't get caught.
Now, let's see how much of a fight 100 Thieves wants to put up for this Drake. They go in with Closer's ulti. Zven's gonna get focused down, and they blow him up. It's first blood over to Lulu, and 100 Thieves are ready to fight back. With Cloud9's Drake stacking interrupted, and their support already dead, we'll have to see if Emenes might be able to find something. Berserker with a massive arrow over the wall. He puts it right through their heart, and Bjergsen is about to drop next. He throws down a meteor, but he's immediately cleaned up. Emenes is after Doublelift, but he doesn't quite have enough damage to get it done with the missed Q3. Doublelift holds his own, but Cloud9 kills 3.
Oh, Bjergsen shorts his W and gets stuck inside that dragon pit. They're trying to hold the entrance for him to get out, and they just take that massive poke damage. Arrow finds it in the end, Cloud9. It was looking a little scary there at the first pick, but then with the follow-up there and taking advantage of the positioning outside the lip of the dragon, they get right back on track, I feel like.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves just got way too hyped after the first kill. They blew all their cooldowns, just like, go, 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 go.
Oh, we're doing it!
Uh-oh, boys. Tenacity could be in some trouble here, but he disengages in time. C9 with a 4,000 gold lead. C9 with 2 Drakes, and it's Hex Soul of all the souls it could have been. I feel like they're going to love the status of that one being able to accelerate this win condition even faster.
Yeah, especially when you're running multiple forms of poke. My goodness, that is so annoying.
Spica, what about you? Do you have a particular Drake soul that you are always excited to see?
I mean, I don't really have a particular Drake soul, but I think for dragons, I love Cloud Dragons.
Okay,
Really? I like going fast.
Hell yeah, brother.
It feels great.
Alrighty, boys, let's take another look at how this fight went down, because it did start off good for 100 Thieves. They got the first blood.
Yeah, Zap from Doublelift there, he hit the W, and then they had to move up from Closer. He nails Sejuani ult, good burst. So that's what I'm talking about. Bjergsen got stuck inside the pit. They released the dragon, so it's auto-attacking him, and then Busio and Closer trying to allow Bjergsen to get out, but they just clump up for the burst damage for Cloud9, and then Emenes, he takes that straight to the bank. Chases down Lulu with the flash. Tries to get a little cheeky there with Doublelift, but unable to get a second.
I think if the Q3 knockup hits Doublelift, there is a chance for him to get the kill there, so that's the angle he was looking for. But unfortunately for him, Doublelift had fancy enough feet to get away from it. First item already completed for Berserker is the Yumu's Ghost Blade to give him specs for mobility, extra chase power, as well as the lethality. Blade of the Ruined King is completed for Emenes, and he just immediately engages on Bjergsen. A little bit more damage, and he'll kill the dragon, but the wild growth from Busio at the 11th hour keeps him alive.
Yeah, you can see how aggressive Cloud9 can continue to play, pushing mid as well with 3.
Yeah, I feel like 100 Thieves just, honestly, they just don't really have a lot of playmaking at this point. The only engage they have,
Ouch.
Ow.
Spider food.
He is gone.
They can take a bunch of extra tower shots because there were so many 100 Thieves player already getting pushed in. So Emenes, even though there were 300 Thieves towards his side of the map, he chunks out Bjergsen. He still gets pressure on the tower. Cloud9 doing exactly what they need to with this comp, with the full damage comp. When you don't have a tank, just play off of snowballing, full damage, push all lanes, getting a bunch of money off of turret plates, turrets as well, and they start to open up that map.
Man, it's looking rough for the 100 Thieves scaling. 6.5K at 14 minutes? Boys, I don't know how much more time they got.
They don't have much time, honestly. I feel like this Yone is just gonna go crazy. He is already up, 30 CS. He's up a whole level. He's gonna be super strong.
How many teams in the LCS do you trust to play this style of Cloud9 comp, though? Because we've seen so many times teams fail to execute. Yes, super high damage. Looks great when T1 is doing it, and you're pushing it everywhere, and you never let up on your snowball. But there have been so many times where, yes, the scaling team, they take advantage of a mistake here or something, and then all of a sudden, they're the ones with the big front line in the engage.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like C9 is one of the best teams to play these early game comps, as well as Evo Geniuses. But I feel like EG in the mid game, they sometimes happy gaming, go peon on the side lane. But I feel like C9 is super comfortable with this playstyle, and honestly, they're doing great so far. They have complete map control.
I mean, look at the gold count right there. You can see the richest man on the side of 100 Thieves is Doublelift on the Zeri, but he's still 800 gold behind his counterpart, who's the second poorest person on the enemy team. Times just keep getting rougher as the tier 2 turret falls in the top lane. 100 Thieves have yet to acquire a single turret for themselves. You can see Bjergsen trying to put in some work here on this bot lane tier 1, but with everything collapsing all around them, the Thieves are gonna have to find some sort of a way back into the game. The third Drake is spawning in just about a minute.
All right, we gotta put you in the hot spot since they were talking about you do a lot of comps for FlyQuest. Okay. Now, if we turn on Fog of War for 100 Thieves, and you guys are looking at each other and you're like, oh my God, we are getting snowballed on so hard.
Yeah.
What are the Spica comms?
I might just be blaming the coach here. I don't know. I feel like it's just super hard for 100 Thieves to play. Yeah, I mean, I think they just have to look for pick plays. Do as well as they can.
You trying to keep morale
There's
up
not
at
that
all?
much I can do. If I'm in comms, I'm like, okay, guys, we got this. Just hold on as much as we can.
C9 is invading the enemy jungle now. Zven's gonna check the tri-brush there with a grenade. Checks it further with some rockets. Closer engages on the enemy Heimerdinger. Zven's gonna be bursted low, but it's 100 Thieves getting bursted lower. Emenes goes over the wall, and Blaber goes on a rampage. Both bottom laners are already dead, and Closer's just the cherry on top. C9 has a body count this game.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Blaber!
I think 100 Thieves wants to go home.
It's a go next angle.
It is looking rough for them.
Yeah, you were saying definitely start blaming coach already. Okay, now is definitely the time because it is looking out of reach. The Rift Herald already gonna get the charge on inhibitor turret as well as the dragon being picked up.
Blaber can just solo down that Drake, so now they're on Soul Point 2. Spica, you said by 20 minutes you wanted to see them owning every dragon, continuing to stack towards that win con. Well, it's 17 minutes in, they're on Soul Point. Here at around the 22-minute mark is when they will force 100 Thieves to stop them from taking the soul. And honestly, there's just nothing 100 Thieves can do.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the boss side jungle, that jungle is literally that is complete vision, CCTV 4K right there. Yeah, I'm not sure how 100 Thieves can come back from this one.
To an excessive amount as well. You don't even need vision in every single ounce of the red buff. But here's the engage, and Emenes, big ulti over the side here on the Yone. Blaber doesn't hesitate. Gets in there on the Elise.
Yeah, I think there's just no way for 100 Thieves to win. It's 3-4.
Yeah. All right, well, change topic then. Because Blaber just got his 800th kill here on the Elise. Who are your most respected jungle players to play against, regardless of champion, regardless of team affiliations in the LCS? Who's actually exciting to play against?
I mean, I think so far for me, at least the top junglers in LCS is River, Inspire, Blaber, and myself.
Of course.
I think it's always fun playing against good junglers, so you can see what you can learn from that. But if I have to pick one player, I want to pick C9. Honestly, because when I was at TSM, we're kind of like, there's a rivalry going on. So even though after I left, there's still a little bit of that. So it's always great playing with C9. I think they also banter a lot, Fudge and Zven, so it's always a good time.
Well, it's not a good time for 100 Thieves here, my friends. 11,000 gold deficit, just 19 minutes into the game. they're averaging more than plus 1,000 gold per each kill just because so many of the advantages aren't even based around the kills. Look at the damage just pouring in. Doublelift gets a kill on Zven, but it's traded back for Busio. Even trade at the gates of the enemy base. The skies descend, but what can they even do? Emenes runs in, and Bjergsen tries to run away. Emenes snaps back to his origin point, but C9, they're just knocking down the turrets. They're running over the base. Bjergsen's got to go back to heal.
Yeah, if we compare this game to your game versus Aurelion Sol, you guys had a lot of trouble closing due to the Aurelion Sol wave clear, but Cloud9 have some different tools in this, this game with so much poke and a much bigger snowball. So already the siege kind of breaking through inhibitor turret too. Seems like it's going to be a much easier and cleaner kind of end for them.
Yeah, I mean, I also want to give credit to C9. I feel like they're also executing a lot better than us. When we're playing against ASO, they pick their fight really smart, and they just keep playing silent, not just fighting.
Yep. And both of those Muramanas are about to fully evolve. You can see the Monomunes completed for Fudge and Berserker stacked at 312 and 339 charges respectively. Doublelift, stay very quiet, Doublelift. Do not make a sound. Okay.
What is he thinking? Right there.
He's thinking, please don't check this push. Please don't.
It looks like C9's not interested in that. They've got their sights set on Baron. They want to wrap this one up nice and clean. And honestly, 100 Thieves isn't going anywhere close to this thing. C9 picks up Baron just 20 minutes into the game. They're going to have the buff all the way through the spawn of the Dragon Soul if the game even lasts that long.
I mean, you play with Doublelift. Is he going in comms? Hey, I got him flanked right now. Somebody get over here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what is going on in the 100 Thieves comms. I imagine it's just quiet.
Yeah.
Not much is going on. But, when the game is just this behind, I think it's hard to say positive.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
It certainly is.
What are you going to say?
Yeah. I mean, everybody has lost some League of Legends games, though. Cloud9, honestly, the bottom side inhibitor exposed as well, but they don't care because pushing on mid and top right now with the Baron buff.
Ooh, Blaber using the stasis to survive the Aurelion Sol ulti, and with that spin, it means C9 just knows there's one less tool in the tank for 100 Thieves to use to fight back. Mid lane's gonna be enchanted there with the Baron, as now Emenes engages, and Doublelift dies. It is another absolutely impossible situation for 100 Thieves to try to navigate being so far behind. Mid lane inhibitor falls, top lane inhibitor could be next, or they might just want to say, forget it, let's go for the Nexus. They'll turn the attention back over onto that top side inhib. Fudge with a flash there, getting out of the way of any potential engage from 100 Thieves. Closers here on the front line, but even Sejuani's having a hard time tanking it all up. Tenacity wants to run in, but Fiora has been invisible this entire game. Fudge just rushed him in the top side.
Honestly, it feels like anything Cloud9 want to do just looks so easy and effortless because of the giant lead there. Emenes just walks right up to Doublelift, Q into instant ultimate.
Just kills him.
No time for him to even hit the ground before he gets completely blown up.
Yeah, I think it's time to play for a montage.
Yeah.
You see Aurelion Sol, you're thinking maybe we get an early free lane here. Infinity Edge on the way for Emenes as well, level 15. He's trying to screen an entire 100 Thieves team, keep him away from that Dragon Soul. Here's the moment.
All right, he jumps over the wall with Q3, looking at closer, because they know if they kill him, there's no way they can lose out on the Soul. There's no chance at a miracle steal. It's Hex Soul for Cloud9.
That was technically a tank.
Yeah,
that he
technically.
just hit in 3 comboed.
There's not a lot of tanks that can really tank much on the side of 100 Thieves now. Nice use of the Wild Growth to interrupt to the skies from Fudge, but Doublelift is still in no condition to fight back. C9 pushing forward, all 5 men still ready to go. You got the bottom lane inhibitor alive, but C9 is just gonna walk past it. Berserker puts an arrow through Doublelift again. 4 deaths now on the Zeri. Aurelion Sol ulti only serves to mark his grave as Berserker nearly kills 100 Thieves on their own spawn platform. The Nexus dies at 23 minutes, and Cloud9 just beat the hell out of him.
That was a fast one.
That was a fast one.
Fastest game of the split, I was just informed. Fastest Baron as well.
Cloud9 walk up. Hey, we are going to win this game and understandable. Have a nice day, 100 Thieves. No time for scaling. Fastest game in the entire split for Cloud9. I'm sorry you had to witness that, Spica. That was brutal.
I mean, honestly, I was preparing for a long one, but yeah, I mean, that was I don't know what to say.
Props to Cloud9 for effectively snowballing, though. You are giving them credit for playing it better than you guys did as well. Really, really aggressive with the push for them. They never let up, especially Emenes on this Yone pick into the A Sol.
Yeah.
Out to the side lanes, constantly making plays on multiple members.
Yeah.
Well, with that wrapped up, Spica, we actually have to send you to the stage now to do the interview. So,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead, pop your headset off. Thank you so much for casting with
Thank
us.
you for having me.
It was a pleasure having
it
you.
was short, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
We, unfortunately, it was a little bit of a one-sided one, but we'll have to have you back on here sometime, run it back. Maybe we'll get a closer game then. But for now, go ahead and head on down to the stage, my friend. We'll get you hooked up, ready to go for the interview. And in the meantime, Kobe, I think we just got to see the answer to the 100 Thieves play slow and scale strategy, and it's really fast.
Yeah, and coming into this match, that's kind of what you expect as far as competing play styles and identities of these two teams, these two organizations. What we've really grown to know from them, so much more, always scaling Air 400 Thieves, and Cloud9 have always been one of these teams super happy to take the proactive, playmaking approach. Spica's talking about how he likes playing against Blaber in jungle, you know, and he's always such an aggressive look, especially when they're able to craft the entire comp around.
And I mean, when you look back historically at the LCS, a lot of the times when the best teams, you know, when TSM ruled LCS for years and years, then Team Liquid did, a lot of times our most successful teams have been these ones that are just like, we're just gonna outscale you. We got better guys. You can't get far enough ahead of us early. We're just gonna win because the game goes further and we have better champions. I think the state of the league is always so much better when those teams can be punished for that. I don't want to see teams be able to draft 45-minute sleeper comps and get to the point where they come online. And Cloud9 just showed they can go for the throat and they can do it fast.
Exactly. Look like they're still sleeping, and the game's over. Boom, Nexus explode. All right, wake up. Spica making his way down to stage
he's still getting ready.
To interview Blaber and talk about how fun it is to play Elise with 3 pushing lanes. Get to take whatever they want and push it ahead.
Yeah, dude. Everybody on 100 Thieves just seemed like they couldn't breathe. You know, Doublelift and Busio were stuck underneath the turret in bottom lane the entire time because of Varus and Heimerdinger pressure. Bjergsen is stuck under turret mid lane because of Yone versus Aurelion Sol pressure. Tenacity loses the Fiora versus Jayce 1v1 matchup. Fudge just has him stuck underneath the turret. It's a great time to play jungle when every lane just mops the floor with their opponents. But now, a quick reminder to all y'all here, we are officially live with tickets for the LCS Spring Final in Raleigh, North Carolina on April 8th and April 9th. Head to Ticketmaster.com right now to claim your spot. And with that said, it is now time to join Spica and Blaber on stage for the Verizon postgame interview.
Hello, everybody. I am here with C9 Blaber. This is my first ever LCS interview. So I'm a bit nervous, but let's talk about the game first. That was really, really short. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, they just roll over completely. What were you thinking game, just from the draft to the end?
Well, from our draft prep, we knew 100 Thieves could only scale because they're just not good enough to play early game. We thought we could just roll them over in the early game, and it showed.
Okay, I mean, honestly, that game was kind of boring, so I'm not going to talk about the game, but I want to talk about jungle, because we are both junglers, right? So give me your take on the current jungle, because I have my opinion, so I want to see, you know, if we align.
Yeah, I don't like jungle right now, to be honest.
Same.
Yeah, they removed 200 gold from my full clear randomly between the seasons. So now I'm getting 650 gold instead of 850. Plus the crowd spawns at 330 gives me no experience. And then laners also hate me because I'm permanently in their lane. But they also won't like me when I'm up 2 levels on them. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just a hard time right now. So, you know, this is just a petition for Riot to buff jungle.
Agreed.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, the current jungler is just perma-ganking, you know? It feels really hard to play for yourself. So what would you like to change, honestly?
I think that the jungle XP on the camps, they might need to be upped a little bit, but it's hard for me to say because usually when they increase XP and respawn timers, jungle becomes too OP, which they also don't like, along with gold. The 20% like damage reduction on camps makes it really, like, it feels really bad to counter jungle when he just sits bottom, and then the catcher XP on kills plus just buffs, it just feels like even if you counter jungle 1 or 2 camps, you can't really punish, and eventually they just catch up, and their Zeri with 3 items is just out carrying you anyways.
So jungle just sucks.
Yeah.
Jungle just sucks. But I mean, I think you still had a really great performance. You played well to the win condition. Thank you very much. GG's.
GG's.
Nice interview.
Thank you.
We'll have to see if Emenes might be able to find something. Berserker with a massive massive arrow over the wall. He puts it right through their heart, and Bjergsen is about to drop next. He throws down a meteor, but he's immediately cleaned up. Gets closer, engages on the enemy Heimerdinger. Zven's gonna be bursted low, but it's 100 Thieves getting bursted lower. Emenes goes over the wall, and Blaber goes on a rampage.